Remember, nobody makes it alone. Have a grateful heart and be quick to acknowledge those. Be quick to acknowledge those that help you. You know, everybody needs a little help in life, and don't forget to acknowledge people where they did help you.
Are you ready? We're gonna run the play. Let's go. Do you know what it's like to come from nothing at all, but every day you just wanting it all? Do you know what it's like? Every day facing your fear, but believing that your blessing is near. Do you know what it's like? Growing up broker than most, but still being devoted the most. Do you know what it's like? Yeah, that's what the journey's about. Yeah. Let me show you.
All right, what's going on, y'all? This is Justin Owens, back at the Run the Play show. I help break down the top plays of success when it comes to leaders, entrepreneurship, personalities, by sharing gems from their personal playbook. And I'm back today with part 2, man. I was just really enjoying, you know, those top 50 lessons from a gentleman that was in his 80s. And, you know, I got to give my little perspective, too. You know what I'm saying? We 37 now. So let's talk. All right, so we left off at 25. So we're going to start at 26 now. This one says, be modest. A lot was accomplished before you were born. You know, I also teach people this is to also be grateful, right? Because a lot was accomplished before you were born. Like, sometimes, you know, we could take a lot of credit for a lot of stuff, but I think about the people that, you know, make a lot of money on social media. Yeah, but like, you didn't have to create the social media platform. You didn't have to create the phone. We didn't have to create the cameras. We didn't have to create the internet. There's so many things that were done before us that helped us do what we're doing today. So it's like, you gotta remember to be modest, but you know, be humble. You know, there's a lot of people won and lost on the way to get us here. 27 is simple. Keep it simple, right? I think that goes to so many things. Conversations. Sometimes you dress. Sometimes, like, especially in business, closing. Keep it simple, right? Sometimes we overcomplicate stuff, so try to keep it simple. This one I teach people all the time. 28. Beware of the person that has nothing to lose. There's always somebody out there that has nothing to lose. So you gotta be careful with those, because those are the people that are the most dangerous. In fact, I'll add something to this. Sometimes you don't know who you're dealing with until they don't have anything to lose. Like, sometimes you'll learn, like, the kind of person that they are. Not the person they put on to be. But like, when somebody doesn't have anything to lose, you start seeing some cracks in their armor, as I like to call it, some chinks in their armor, and you're like, okay, wait a minute, that's really you. So I need to watch that. 29, don't burn bridges. You'll be surprised how many times you have to cross the same river. Do you really have to rebuild those bridges down the road? All right, so do you have to rebuild them? Do you want to rebuild them? And I'll add something to this too. My mentor taught me this. He said, listen, don't burn bridges, not because you may need to cross them, but because they may need to cross them again. And so, you know, I think the key is try not to burn bridges, you know, like, you know, and I get it. Like, if you listen to, like, Think and Grow Rich, he's like, hey, burn your bridges. So it's like you either live or die. And I agree with that. Like, sometimes you got to cut off all other options. It's like, hey, look, this has to work or it has to work. I think this is talking about more so with, like, relationships. Like, even people that, like, you know, work with me in business, sometimes people want to have those storm out, you know, quitting of the job. And I'm like, yo, if it was a professional job that treated you the right way, granted you're making money now, but like, give them a 2-week notice. A lot of times most companies don't have you stay for 2 weeks anyway, but like, make sure you're doing stuff right by people, because there's some people that I won't do business with today because of some bridges they burnt 10 years ago. You follow what I'm saying? So, you know, make sure you do that, right? Live your life so that your tombstone can read no regrets. And I think that's important, right? Most of the times, more often than not, you end up regretting the things you didn't do than the things you did. Now, obviously, none of us are perfect, so there's some things that we do regret, but like, sometimes you're like, man, I never took a chance with this, or I never tried, right? And so I think the lesson is to just try. This one kind of leads right into it. Be bold and courageous, because you're going to regret the things you didn't do more than the ones you did. Right? That's crazy. I just said that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I got a little wisdom in you, boy. But that's it. Number 32, don't waste an opportunity to tell someone you love them. I think this was a simple one, but it's such a simple gesture. And it's so easy to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's so easy to just tell somebody you love them. Hey, man, I appreciate you, you know? So do that as much as you can. Especially for my entrepreneurs. This one is really big for as you make it, right? Remember, nobody makes it alone. Have a grateful heart and be quick to acknowledge those. Be quick to acknowledge those that helped you. You know, everybody needs a little help in life. And don't forget to acknowledge people where they did help you. I think that goes a long way. 34, take charge of your attitude. Don't let someone else choose it for you. Your attitude in life is crucial to your overall success and happiness, and don't let other people influence us. And I'll just throw in something extra. Not just other people, but like sometimes it's real easy to let social media do that to you. You know, there's some things that's been happening in the world recently, and I'm like, you know what? It's not that I'm going to ignore that, but I can't let this stuff affect my attitude. I can't let, you know, what the president is doing affect my attitude. I can't let all this stuff affect my attitude. I got to take charge of it, and I got to make sure I have a great attitude on a day-to-day basis, and I can't let other people choose that for me. So I think this is big. Sometimes we think about just people next to us, but there's some people that, like, there's some people I'll unfollow on social media just because of some of their posts. There's some people, like, I'll hide their posts or hide their stories because I just don't feel like seeing none of that stuff right now. And then, you know, maybe later we come back. 35, this one is a big one for me. Visit friends and relatives when they're in the hospital. You only need to stay a few minutes. You know, one of my biggest regrets actually was my grandma. She had never got sick, and I remember this day. It was a Tuesday. No, it was a Monday. Sorry, it was a Monday. She went to the hospital. My parents called me and was like, "Hey, grandma went to the hospital. You need to come down here and check on her." I was like, "Okay, cool. I'm working. I just started a company." I was like, "Cool. I'm coming on the weekend." Now, here's the thing that's crazy. I actually could have went then, but you know, it's my grandma. I'm thinking she never been sick before. She'll be fine. Y'all, she didn't even make it to the weekend. That's one of my regrets in terms of like something I could have done and I didn't do, but I should have done. So now, literally, if there's somebody that I know and I care about that's in the hospital, I'm just gonna go because, you know, there's time and there's opportunity, and sometimes you don't get a chance to do it again. Like if I could go back, I'm like, man, what calls were I making? What things were so important? I could have just dropped what I was doing, jump on a flight, or grab some of my family, jump on the road, and be to, you know, Miami the next day. Like there's literally no reason, and so, you know, man, don't miss an opportunity, you know, because that's exactly what it is. It's to get there, see people, have those last conversations. If they're your last, or if they're not your last, then you know it means a lot to people when people show up, because a lot of people don't show up. All right. 36. Begin each day with some of your favorite music. I do this one all the time. Alexa makes it easy. You got it set to where it's like, you know, you can have your alarm go off, and then as soon as your alarm goes off, then it can play some of your favorite music. I do that because studies have shown first 20 minutes set up your day. So if you throw some music, something to make you feel good, get you in the right mood, sets you up for a powerful day. 37. I've done this on accident sometimes, so I like it. Once in a while, I'll take the scenic route. Sometimes we try to just do everything so fast that sometimes the scenic route is cool too. Like get a chance to see some houses and some homes. Like we took the scenic route recently. We went on a cabin trip, and we probably maybe 10 minutes from the house. Next thing you know, we're passing through farms and people got cows and horses and, you know, all these little places. I'm like, man, I didn't know this place was here. I never knew that was here. I never knew that was here. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to taking the scenic route. Send a lot of thank you cards. Thinking about your cards, sign them. Someone who thinks you're terrific. I think this is a simple, economical way to make somebody feel terrific. I have this thing. I have like my top 30, my top 50 people that I want to make sure that I'm intentional about building a relationship with on a yearly basis. And I think sending those cards, sending those DMs, sending those messages is a great way to be intentional about building those relationships. 39, answer the phone with enthusiasm and energy in your voice. Y'all see it here on the call. I do that pretty much all the time. I be like, what's going on, man? How's everything going? Man, how you doing? Man, I'm absolutely amazing. Man, I'm absolutely incredible. Man, I'm absolutely fantastic. Man, I'm outstanding. Like, it's got to be a little different than everybody else, in my opinion. Sometimes it sets the tone for the conversation too, right? Keep a notepad and pencil. Number 40, keep a notepad and pencil on your bedside. $1 million ideals sometimes strike at 3 a.m. That is a fact. I don't know about y'all, but I've had some great ideas hit in the middle of the night, and I'll be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna write it down in the morning. And I wake up, I'm like, man, what was that idea? You know, so if it's not your notepad, I would say at least your phone and then type it. Like, don't trust your memory because it ain't that good, I promise you. Even if it's crystal clear at that moment. Like, I've had moments, I'm like, oh, that was so clear. Never gonna forget that. Wake up in the morning and be like, man, what was I thinking about? I don't remember. So, say Jay-Z used to do it. A lot of success people have done it all the time. 41, show respect for everyone who works for a living, regardless of how trivial, how small, how big their jobs are. Because, man, at the end of the day, people are people. And people deserve respect. And I think what we've got away from in this life somehow is we respect positions more than people. And I don't think it should ever be that way because we're all people at the end of the day. We're all one type of being, right? A human being. So, man, treat people right. People remember that stuff. And I want y'all also to remember this. Just because somebody's there today doesn't mean they're going to be there tomorrow. But here's the thing. That's not why you treat people better. That's not why you treat people right. You don't treat people right because one day they might be somebody. You treat them right because they are somebody today. All right. Just had to get that out real quick. 42, send your loved ones flowers. Think of a reason later. I don't think you need to have a reason to send people flowers. I think it's a nice surprise. Personally, that's how I operate anyway. I'm not, as y'all get a chance to know me, I don't really do the holiday stuff anyway. But what I will do is if something I want to do for somebody, I do it for them without a date attached to them. It doesn't have to be a special day just because I want to. And I like to do that. Make someone's day by paying the toll for the person in the car behind you. I think this kind of depends on where you live, but it's another way to have a positive effect. Almost like you're saying, pay for somebody's meal at Starbucks, pay for somebody's meal behind you at McDonald's or wherever you like to frequent, right? I think it's another way just to, make somebody's day. Become someone's hero. There's a quote that goes like this: to the world, you might just be one person, but to one person, you might be the world. And so, man, there's a lot of ways to do that. Like as a kid, the Big Brother, Big Sister program, I've had people reach out to me since I was in middle school to now. Like, man, I just want you to know, man, in 8th grade, what you said to me meant a lot. Obviously at events, obviously from content, things. There's so many ways you can be somebody's hero. And so what I think I would add to that is that never minimize your impact that you can have on a person. I think that's another way to put that, because you can be somebody's hero by having a small impact, but even some of the biggest giants that we see in the world, they had some people around them that made a small impact, but it was a big deal for them. All right, number 45, marry only for love. Marry for any other reason is stupid. The marriage will not last and will leave you vulnerable. That is a fact. 46, count your blessings. Always be grateful for what you have in life. There are people out here that have far less than you. Be grateful for the roof that you have over your head, the job you have, the family you have. Man, I think it's one of the things I do. I learned this from Tony Robbins. He says, like, one of the ways you start off your day is you start off with like a circle of gratitude, because gratitude is really the frequency for more. And so if you don't have a lot, or a lot of things aren't going great your way, it's probably because you're frustrated, right? And frustration is the opposite of gratitude. Worry is negative goal setting. And so gratitude really gets you away from those two things, and it gets you being grateful for things you have. And I want you to just think right now, man, what are some things that I can be grateful for right now? What are some things that, man, like I was saying earlier, like, who are you grateful for? I like to start with like a circle around me. Like, okay, who am I thankful for? Okay, my parents, the amazing relationships that I have, my daughter, my brother, my sister, then I go another circle, people that I have in my spiritual life, my close friends, maybe, some of my business partners, right? People that I get a chance to work with, the people that, influence. I'm just grateful for these people, right? I'm grateful for technology, being able to have us connected. Like right now, we're talking in the studio, but you're getting a chance to watch it on your computer, listen to it on your phone. Man, you gotta be grateful for that, because there was a time when you couldn't do that. There was a time when you couldn't broadcast ideas and messages and kind of leave something like this. So, man, it's finding ways to be grateful, because there's so many ways to look at stuff and be like, man, I want this and I want that. And so I've adopted this mentality that's like, yes, I want to be grateful, but also not satisfied. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in the not satisfied, we forget to become grateful. But the statement has become grateful but not satisfied. So I'm like, man, I'm grateful for what I have, but I want more. Right? I'm grateful for the people I have, but I want stronger relationships. I'm grateful for the relationship I have, but man, I want to be more fruitful, more abundant in love and energy and joy and all these different things, right? So like, yes, man, I'm grateful for it all. Grateful for the health that I have, but I want it to be better. Right? Grateful for the flexibility that I have, but I want it to be better. Right? Like, so you're looking at those things and being grateful on a day-to-day basis. Compliment the meal when you're a guest in someone's home. If you're a guest in someone's home and they cook for you, always be polite. Compliment the meal as a token of appreciation. They'll feel good putting it together for you. Whew. That was tough sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I've been to a couple of these meals. I'll be like, whoo, Lord. So, but I think that's the right thing to do, for sure. Compliment the meal, because they put time, energy, and effort into it. And listen, if a meal is not the best, I mean, my move is one of two. I get a paper towel, I cover it, we walking by the trash can, we're gonna slide it off. If they got paper plates, I'll try to cover that and get rid of it. Or worst comes to worst, I'll be like, man, I'm stuffed. You got a plate or something that I could take this to go? But I'm still gonna compliment him. You know what I'm saying? I just tell y'all the truth. That's what we've done a couple times. So hopefully that helps somebody. Because I don't think you should ever be disrespectful. But try, try as much as possible. Try to eat it. But definitely give them a compliment. And I don't think you always have to have an insincere compliment. Like you don't have to say the food was amazing, but you can say, man, thank you for being so thoughtful, putting this meal together, man. This is just special. I mean, it really is. Like, I mean, it's everything you did, man, bringing everybody together, having us here, man, we really appreciate that. And the time you put into this meal, I can tell you put a lot of time, energy, and love into the food. So, but it makes the person feel good, right? And I think that's a great thing to deposit, right? Wave at children on the school bus. Man, I think you always gotta do that. Children love to wave. Wave back at them, it'll make their day, and there's really no effort involved. Can I add one more to it? If you're passing by a tractor trailer, do that too, you know what I mean? Like, I still do that to this day sometimes. I'm like, hey man, pull that horn, bro. And if you're the truck driver, man, make sure you honk when the kids do it too. Makes them feel good. Remember that 80% success in any job, in any career is based on your ability to deal with people. Virtually every job in the world involves with dealing with people in some way or another. Whether it's employees, customers, or businesses, so you have to be good at dealing with people. If not, you won't succeed. We teach this all the time too, right? If you're good with people, you'll be good at making money. If you're not good with people, you're probably not gonna be good at making money. So if you're not good with people, you probably need to get somebody in your team that's really good with people, because that is going to be an incredible asset. I don't care if you're just in the tech space and you're like, oh, I'm behind the scenes. Well, guess what? The person that's using your stuff, they're a person, right? So yeah, just don't get away from that. Number 50, don't expect life to be fair. Life isn't fair. Life is hard. Expect it to be that way. But it doesn't mean you can't achieve your goals and dreams. It just means you have to work hard and have patience. If you can master this, what you want, good will come. That's number 50. I mean, I think that's a great way to wrap it up. Gratitude. Don't expect life to be fair. Listen, being an African-American male, I would tell you this: don't expect it to be fair. Don't expect things to be easier. You know, you can't victim your way. You can't pity your way to the next level. And man, there's some injustices that are right, man. I went to the African-American Museum recently, and I'm gonna tell y'all, first 2 levels, I was in my feelings a little bit. Had some feelings. I was like, man, y'all really did this. But then you realize, man, you had all that stuff happen for centuries, and look at what's been done in the last 80 to 100 years. It's been remarkable. I mean, you literally have people have come from no opportunity to some of the top athletes. They look like me. Some of the top business people. We've got billionaires, and so, man, you realize things aren't fair, but then you have to be grateful for some of the things that people went through, how they tried to break free and create opportunities and give us the opportunities that we're dealing with today. And so I think when you look at the whole thing that you've been dealt with, yeah, man, it's not fair, but it could be worse, but we got a shot. And man, that's what I really think this thing is about, man. So, man, I really enjoyed reading this myself, and so I just want to share that with y'all. But also my perspective on it as well, because I do think that it's important to take lessons from people that are more mature. And I think more people should do that. I'm not saying you have to take everything that someone says just because they're older, because they have imperfections. They've made mistakes as well. But man, if you can learn from some of the mistakes that people made, and then you can not make them in your life, ironically, typically your life will become better. So, man, enjoyed this episode. Hopefully y'all got some stuff out of it as well. We're back at the Run the Play show, baby. We gave y'all 50 plays. Y'all go run it. See y'all on the next episode. What's going on? Listen, make sure you guys go to RunThePlayStore.com. Get your official Run the Play gear. We talk about shirts, socks, jackets, for everybody that's Run the Play all across the world.
Are you ready? We're gonna run the play. Let's go. Do you know what it's like to come from nothing at all, but every day you just wanting it